Yeah, Charlotte, thousands of people are already pouring out here to St. Peter's Square to pay their respects to Pope Francis. Not only people and worshipers that are coming out here, but press as well. Keep in mind that Pope Francis has been sick for several weeks leading up to the announcement of his passing this morning. And it was also this past Holy Week where the Pope Francis was trying to infuse himself in some fashion, even though he was unable to lead the Holy Week events. He was still making himself known, his appearance known, visiting inmates, for example, and greeting worshipers when possible, including Vice President J.D. Vance just yesterday. Now, I do want to read the statement from the Holy See announcing his passing, saying at 7:35 this morning, the Bishop of Rome, Francesco, returned to his father's house. His entire life has been dedicated to the service of the Lord and to his church. The bells of St. Peter ringing out right after that announcement to let all of Rome know about his passing. And now, after 12 years leading the church, he certainly leaves behind a large legacy as well.
As the first non-European pope, the former Jorge Bergoglio of Buenos Aires, Argentina, became a historical figure, rising through the ranks of Catholicism, from Archbishop of Buenos Aires to being a member of his church's governing board, the College of Cardinals. Bergoglio always maintained a common touch. In 2013, following the surprise abdication of Pope Benedict XVI, the College of Cardinals elected Argentina's Bergoglio as the new pope.
Buonasera.
4 months after assuming the throne of St. Peter, he stunned many Catholics by seeming to reverse his church's traditional position on homosexuality. Quote, "If a gay person is in search of God, who am I to judge them?" he told reporters on his official airplane before quickly backtracking from that position. Pope Francis also continued to apologize to the families of children abused by pedophile priests in what was inarguably Catholicism's biggest scandal. In 2016, he hinted strongly that then presidential candidate Donald Trump was not a Christian because of his support of a wall along the border. The audience with Trump when he became president did not go well, but Francis did have cordial meetings with Barack Obama and Joe Biden. He challenged the Trump administration in its opening days, nominating Robert McElroy as Bishop of Washington, D.C., a vocal critic of the new administration tasked with pushing the pontiff's vision in the U.S. Capitol. Francis himself frequently criticized the immigration policies of President Donald Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance. In 2023, in one of the rarest scenes in 2 millennia of Catholic Church history, Pope Francis presided over the funeral of his predecessor, Pope Emeritus Benedict XVI, bringing an end to a saga of 2 living popes living within the walls of Vatican City. The Pope, battling several health issues himself later in life, persisted through personal and global turmoil, praying for peace in Ukraine and calling on Moscow and Kyiv to negotiate, while establishing a Vatican peace envoy to assist in the efforts. He insisted that the Catholic Church was open to everyone, but he continued to try to thwart the efforts of traditional Catholics to worship in the Latin Rite, used by the Church for 2,000 years, in favor of the vernacular Mass, more in use since the 1970s. It kick-started a series of events over the coming years that would pit progressive members of the Church against traditionalists, such as suggesting it may be possible to bless same-sex unions, again extending a hand to the community, much like he did years before. Francis also opened up the church to women, significantly increasing the Vatican's female workforce, including in high-ranking positions. His final acts, however, focused on securing his legacy as a liberal reformer whose worldview lives on after his passing. And his successor is tasked with taking on these sensitive issues. And with over 70% of voting-age cardinals appointed by Francis, the next pope will likely share his vision for the church. In the days following Pope Francis's death, there are those who will call for him to be canonized. In other words, to be made a saint to be prayed to. Others will declare him a heretic. As in life, there is very little middle ground. He will surely be remembered as a spiritual leader of consequence, and one whose career was shrouded in controversy.
Now, of course, the last time we saw a papal passing, it was unprecedented in its own right, Charlotte. Pope Francis presiding over the funeral of his predecessor, Pope Benedict XVI, something that we haven't seen for 500 years, acknowledging the fact that Pope Benedict was the first pontiff to resign in 500 years, something that Pope Francis said that he was open to if he was unable to carry out his duties. Now, over the next couple of days, we are still waiting for more details about what that will look like, including a time frame and exactly what those rituals will look like. We know that Pope Francis requested to be buried at a local church here, Santa Marta Maggiore, one of the more humble churches, but one that is very special in his heart that he frequently visited. So as these details come in, we're going to start learning a little bit more about what happened and what will take place over the coming days, Charlotte.
Information. Truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.
Welcome back to the video PUBG deathmatch session खेल रहे हैं. So come on guys, let's play. Lead. पूरे मैच एक ही जैसे लगेंगे लेकिन डिफरेंट है, डिफरेंट मैचेस हैं क्योंकि गेमिंग में यही मसला होता है कि looks similar, all the games look similar, same video जैसा भी दिखेगा लेकिन same video है नहीं. So it's not the same video, different video with different
forex लगा कर देखो
यार. स्नाइपर रख के गए सब. Stop using sniper. मेरे पास भी M24 मारो. एम करने से पहले
I need a weapon.
6-11. ये क्या रूम मैच है? रूम मैच नहीं दिख रहा है. हमारे साथी मेरे ख्याल से क्विट हो गए हैं. मारो यार, कोई मारो यार.
छोड़ दे
मार दिया.
सामने से निकलता
9:17 guys. 9:17. 10:18. कहाँ गए हमारे लड़के? क्विट हो गए, म्यूट में चले गए. वहाँ पे 12:20. ब्लू का खाता तो बहुत कम है. 15. मार उसको मार. मार यार, मार.
ये आ रही है पूरी स्क्वाड में से.
फोन कहाँ से आ गया यार बीच में? एक
ये क्या चल रही है?
चलो ठीक है, देखता हूँ.
फुल पर दो देखिए, फुल पर दो सही खत्म करते हैं. ये गाद
अभी अब ये फोन का रिंगटोन से कोई
क्या
नहीं है.
होता है
भी अजीब हो जाता है.
मन सबसे बड़ा हो जाता है.
एक ग्रेनेड का अच्छा यूज कर रहे हैं लोग. ग्रेनेड से बहुत डैमेज हो रहा है मेरा. हाँ सिर्फ मेरा ही लगा डैमेज. जो मैं ग्रेनेड डालता हूँ वो तो कुछ नहीं होता. 20-34. बैड प्ले. अब आजा भाई. मार उसको. कहाँ है यार? अरे कहाँ बैठा है ये? दिखाई नहीं दे रहा. हाँ वहाँ पे मारो. ओ पीछे भी एक बंदा बैठा है. हाँ वही है. 31-38. Good comeback.